Tim, what's going on, man? Tim, are you seeing some of these videos coming out of like Tel Aviv and freaking parts of Iran and stuff? Like it's fully ramping up. It's in God's hands at this point, man, because it's getting crazy. And it's said, I mean, has this been planned long ago? You got the Behold a Pale Horse guy, you got the Jordan Peterson, or not Jordan Peterson, Jordan Maxwell. You don't want to get those two mixed up. They're very different. One may be controlled, one not. Okay, live on Rumble now. No way. Okay, did you guys hear that what's going on with Justin Bieber? Um, yeah, me too, Tim. Friday night was wild, man, when all that was kicking off. Um, did you hear the theory or the situation that's going on with Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez and the Kardashians? Because this is like seriously weird. Damn, it's crazy. Well, Nyx, apparently the Kardashians' baby is Justin Bieber. Apparently, it looks very similar to Justin Bieber when he was young. And there's a whole thing about handing over that sort of thing, your child, when you're in these occult or cult rituals and whatnot. Anyway, I guess it's hard to determine, but it does look quite similar. And I wouldn't put it past them to be doing strange stuff like that. So, literally, downtown Israel, I guess, is being completely bombed right now. Uh, Health Ranger says, looks like the Iron Dome's interceptor missiles don't work, and check out the speed of the incoming missiles from Iran. Okay, I'm looking at the speed of them. They do look pretty slow, actually. I guess that's what he's inferring. That's wild, man. And then with this whole thing about AI, it's like everyone has already are reading the room here that AI videos and the improvement of AI videos and CGI and stuff has made it so people question, like, if you saw something for real, like suppose you saw a Yeti or a real Bigfoot and you film it and it looks super realistic, people be like, no, man, that's got to be AI. Or you see something crazy going down in your city. Or the alternative to that is there was some website or something that marketed a service and it's like, prank your friends, take a picture of them, send it to this AI thing, and we'll make it look like they got caught on camera stealing from a grocery store or something like that. And it's like you could be AI'd into doing something that you didn't do, but some AI video depicts you doing, Yo, Dan, that's crazy, man. But dude, the weird thing then, Tyler Hansen unblocked me on Twitter. I thought because he saw my story or something, but no, I guess he's still. I honestly thought for the first time, you know, I actually thought it'd be pretty cool to have a discussion with Tyler Hansen, like on a live. First, though, I would never call him and be like, or text him and be like, "Yo, like, come live with me." I've never even talked to the guy. So when people reach out to me like, "Yo, man, like, let's go live," like, dude, I never even talked to you. You know what? And it's like it's usually a clout chasing. Whereas with me, I'd want to like talk to him and be like, "Yo, your theory about the fallen angels is pretty crazy, man. Tell me more about it. I'm interested in learning more, or whatever." And then if we'd vibe, I'd be like, "Yo, come on a live, man. Tell your whole audience, and I'll tell mine, and we can go live and talk about this stuff." And it'll be interesting for everyone because I'll be asking questions that maybe the audience has questions about too, and he'd be answering. I don't know. I'd want to know how he came to the idea that these celebrities are shape shifting fallen angels. They did fall from heaven. We know that's been said. Would they have extra abilities? Likely. So, anyways, by the way, I know that I don't even know what the main. Every once in a while, I see a clip from the mainstream news, but surely you guys, your explore feeds too, are all nonstop what's going on in the Middle East. So the U.S. for the first time since World War II used a torpedo to sink a enemy ship. They sank some Iranian vessel, and then Iran bombed like a multi-billion-dollar radar base in Bahrain, I believe. Uh, so, dude, on Friday, if there's a day this week that something like mega happens, because right now the grid is still on, we still have internet, the economy is still like it's on the brink of something, it seems. But if there's a day this week where something serious kicks off, it would be Friday. It's always on a Friday. That gives people little time to. Well, apparently it's about the financial system. When they announce shit on a Friday, people don't have time to go close all their positions or call their bank and pull out their money or blah 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 blah. You know, so they do it on a Friday, so then the banks are closed on the weekends. So, anyways, it would be a Friday that something kicks off, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around. I have not seen a coherent or cohesive, really put together theory of it fully as to what it would look like. Would it be China? Like, okay, this is what's getting weird. Some people are saying China, in fact, sorry, OAN, whatever mainstream news that acronym is for, was just talking about how, and let me shout this out on Instagram real quick, actually, and then we'll do it because this is freaking wild, man. It has to do with Russia and China. They're not directly, like physically involved in any bombings or any conflict, but they're apparently doing something else. I'll tell you in 2 seconds. Uh, well, see, that's the thing, Dialed. You're kind of picking up what I'm putting down because that's what many people are wondering if that's around the corner. Apparently, this blood moon was the. Um, someone said it's the last blood moon, or it's the most recent blood moon. The previous blood moon that landed on this kind of day, March 3rd, or uh, I've written down somewhere. What the last time this type of blood moon happened apparently was when Jesus was on the cross, which NASA actually confirmed there was a blood moon back then, which is interesting. I know it's NASA. What's going on, guys? I saw the Marine video, and they did you see them break his hand, dude, or break his like his arm? It was his forearm they broke. He got stuck in that door. That guy has some serious. I'm surprised he was able to get into that room with such brass freaking cojones, man. So listen, everyone, shit is literally kicking off, and the what do they call them? All the guys who say nothing ever happens are like seething right now because things are happening. Shout out to Pakistan. Hi from Pakistan. What's going on, Pakistan? So listen, something just aired on national television in the US. I'm sure they broadcasted it elsewhere as well. We have bombs dropping in Tel Aviv right now, and of course, all over Iran. A multi billion-dollar radar station just got knocked out. And yeah, it was Chuds. That's right. Normal person one. That was the word I was trying to remember. Multi-billion-dollar radar station just got taken out in, I think it was UAE or Bahrain, a US military base, like destroyed. And the Iron Dome, I guess, isn't really doing its freaking job. If there's going to be a day this week where something seriously kicks off that affects us and the economy and our grids, it would be a Friday. I'm not saying I'm thinking this Friday something big's going to happen, but it's always Friday, and that's because the banks are closed over the weekends. You don't have time to pull money out, cut your stocks off, etc. It's to do with the economy. So listen, this is, as you can imagine, significantly sensitive discussion about what's the future of our world. It'd kind of like be if before COVID you were talking on a live stream about what they're about to pull Well, that's why I specifically saved this stuff for the Rumble live stream channel. So we are live on Rumble right now, discussing this without any censorship at all. See here, there's a lot I'd love to say, but I've gotten strikes on live feeds literally just for talking about fluoride. So we are live and we're discussing, and it's a Q&A too. So people like Cash In with Heaven and all you guys asking these questions, I'd love to answer them all, but I'm going to answer them on Rumble freely. If you want to come over, it's in the link in my bio. So you click the link in my bio, then it opens up a link tree. And in the link tree, you'll see my Rumble link. It's free to watch, free to download, and free to join. If you make an account, then you can comment and then we can discuss more. But you can just watch from your browser. No, I didn't. Your mom loves sports. But anyways, so come on over to Rumble. You don't need to have a Rumble actually. Divine, you don't need to have a Rumble. You can watch it from your browser. But I don't know how the viewing experience is on a browser versus the actual app. Okay. Shout out to Isaiah. He was on last night. Okay, guys. So I'll see you on my Rumble channel. Alternatively, you can go and comment the word Rumble on any. There's already 100 people on, by the way, on Rumble. You can comment the word Rumble on any one of my posts, not this live feed, but a post, and you'll get the link to your DMs. So you could go to my most recent post, comment Rumble, and get the link to your DMs. But anyways, link in my bio. We'll see you guys on Rumble. Lots to discuss. Something strange is coming around the corner, man. Andrew and Merzik, the link in my bio. So you click my profile, and you'll see I only have one link in my bio. You click that, and boom, bang, bang. Yes, Dallas, I'll answer your question on Rumble, man, 100%. Shout out to We Behold the Truth. I appreciate you guys too, because some people are like, why are you always telling everyone to go to Rumble? It's for censorship purposes. It's, Okay, so we'll see you guys on Rumble. All right. Yeah, I'll give people a couple minutes to get on. So yeah, what the Sam Dam's going on, eh? Freaking. Do you guys know the guy called Reality Revolt? Or he also goes by Dimitri Legrand. He's French speaking. All of his videos are in French, but he has the captions on, and they're quite viral. Have you seen the ones I'm talking about? If you've seen them, you've watched the whole thing of whatever ones you've seen, because they're so wild. But apparently, the Strait of Hormuz now is under Iranian control. They say they're going to shoot at any vessel that tries to come through that strait, the Strait of Hormuz. And so that's 20 to 25% of all the world's oil supply has to go through there. Um, and you may be thinking, well, that's good because not good, but you'll say, well, it's okay because we have now Venezuelan oil, or the States does. Canada, for example, we shouldn't be affected by any single outside of our country policy to do with oil because we have Alberta, which produces way more than enough oil for our entire country. But as you know how things go, countries that produce oil sell it, they export it, but then they go import it from another country at a higher price. And then the citizens don't get cheap gas or diesel or fuel, but like corporations profit billions. It's a big fucking runaround, man. But anyways, so we'll see what's about to happen with the Strait of Hormuz. But on OAN, okay, so OAN it's a mainstream news in the States. And this guy came on there. And I don't believe any of this is a coincidence, by the way. I think everyone's being primed. I think everyone's being primed 100%. And this guy basically said that Russian and Chinese intelligence is providing satellite images to Iranian like Scuds or whatever missiles they have. And that's how they're able to strike all these US bases. As if you can't Google US bases on Google Images and zoom in and it'll show you a map where all the bases are throughout the Middle East. But now it's being framed as like, well, Russia and China are aiding, so it's not really panning out as well as we thought. The word in the air is that it's about to go global. It's about to go worldwide, man, where China and Russia are going to team up. And then what's going to happen in Europe? Is there going to be war in Europe again? I'll tell you, Russia and Putin, I've made many posts about him in the past. He's banning GMOs, he's promoting family values. If he joins forces with communist China and Iran and starts bombing Europe and shit, like they already are joined forces. They're a coalition, like they're connected, right? And my concern is that I don't know that there's a single country on earth that is free from the hidden hands that are manipulating things from the unseen. And so I think it's what the word on this, what many people are saying is that for many hundreds of years now, or at least it could be even thousands, dude, if we're talking fallen angels. But there's a plan to, after every war, society changes drastically. And if they want to bring in this digital ID, digital currency, cashless society, AI controlled, the thing that the Behold a Pale Horse guy wrote and said in an interview is that the Third World War, and this is not meant to be fear mongering, so fear not, okay? The Third World War is supposed to be the war to end all wars because people will be begging for no more war after going through this one. And they'll take whatever is offered to them that would be guaranteed to no more war. If they come out and say, look, we're going to use AI is going to control everything because AI won't act irrationally or emotionally, it won't be have an ego, and it will control things for us, and then there won't be any more war. People, if they went through some hell in a third world war, would gladly welcome that. But no one's going to be welcome being governed by AI when things are as they are right now. It seems like who would possibly even think that you'd want to be governed by artificial intelligence? But I don't know if you saw, we already have, um, was it Elon Musk? One of these talking heads came out and said um, how good AI would do a job. What happens if AI can think faster and do more and make better decisions than our presidents? It was like a New York Times article or something. And by the way, we don't know what is really behind AI. So whatever they're saying, AI is just a network of thoughts that are connected and information, and it's channeling them and blah blah blah. There's something more nefarious behind artificial intelligence, and some say it was here long before. Let's just say that. And so when articles come out and say, well, what would happen if yeah, like AI, what if AI could do a better job governing the citizens of this world than governments can? Like that's priming us to begin possibly accepting this. And the crazy part is, Amelia, I already talked to that guy and he deleted the video. I think he found out that he maybe went a little overboard. I mean, there's literally like 7 different pictures of but anyway, I talked to him, Amelia. It's all good. I didn't ask him to delete the video either. I think he felt a bit almost petty after he made that video because he didn't reply to me and then he pulled it. So, anyways, that's under water's under the bridge, Amelia. Um, there's more to it, but I mean, I'm not into like it's not about me or drama. Like I make videos, you know. So listen, I will say this though: the number one thing you need to do right now is not. I mean, yeah, you could stock up, but is fear not. Like, don't be in fear. I know sometimes I'm watching these videos of these countries, these places being bombed, and I know what's coming around the corner. They're planning this third world war, man. They're planning this third world war, and they're trying to make it happen because they want to bring in the new world order. It's all about bringing in the new world order, 100%. And they need something to shake up the current system to bring in the new system. That's what it's all about. Now, I believe that we will win in the end 100%. We already have won because the fate is already sealed of humanity and those who know we are going to win. I don't know how bad it's going to get between now and then, though, but it's nothing to fear. So do not be fearful. I also do think you should be getting right with God right now. Not because we're all about to explode. I'm not worried about that. But I do think when you're watching what's being shown in the media and Hollywood and everything, and these people literally worship Satan and they hate Jesus, it's evident. You can see it if what is it? The eyes are useless if the mind is blind. If your eyes are open, you're paying attention. Clearly, they do hate Jesus. They make rappers sign agreements that they can't mention the word Jesus in their songs. A rapper came out, whistleblower came out and said that. That's the record labels. They want them rapping about drugs and violence and gang activity. They don't want them talking about Jesus, of course. You'll never get a record label. Try to be like a Christian rapper. You're not getting signed. You're not getting on the fucking radio. Not a chance. But if you want to rap about drugs and gang violence, you'll be promoted to the top of the charts. Do you not think that's not like a satanic influence? It is. But the last thing too, or not last thing, but one of the most imperative is this is the most pinnacle moment in human history to be of sound mind and body. When we're exposed to all this, dude, like there is literally too much information uh, coming out right now. Like it's mind boggling. Like we got to put our phones down sometimes. There's too much that's going on. Um, and so we got to be of sound mind and sound body. And I think that this moment now has been, seeded and fed in the last decades by the chemical assault on humanity, not to mention the frequency assault on humanity with the Wi Fi, the cell towers, the smart meters. It's all 100% connected. And they do want us to be in a lowered state of consciousness. So it is absolutely imperative to be of sound mind and body right now. And here's the crazy part. We were mentioning this the other day because we know they're spraying us with chemtrails, which they claim is just condensation trails. There's more than just heavy metals in that. And unfortunately, if you're not actively detoxing today, you are accumulating. Sound mind and sound body. That should be the goal next to getting right with God and fearing not. So specifically on this live, Chalk, which I've been partnered with since 2019, they're giving away 5 bags of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia. $100 value, super detoxing and delicious. Organic heirloom cacao, by the way, is believed to decalcify the pineal gland. It massively boosts your gut microbiome. And shout out to Jack Cooper. Look what he just wrote. 100% true. Organic heirloom cacao stimulates stem cell production, which repairs damaged tissue and damaged cells. And it's believed to be one of the most powerful antioxidant content foods in the natural world. So that means it binds to free radicals, contaminants, heavy metals, phthalates, and excretes them out of the body. So chocolate powder, it's first come, first served. We have 5 to give away on the live. I'm going to put the link in the chat. It goes to chalk.com. Chalk ships out of Georgia. They're based in Texas. They have an all-American customer service team, and they have over 5,000 third-party verified 5-star reviews on Trustpilot. Of course, this also supports the stream, and Chalk, they're good people, man. Family-oriented, family-owned Christian company. They ship out of Georgia, and they're fully aware of what's going on. They know what's coming too. They're not asleep to it. They're the owner. I helped found it. The owner has been live with us. He's been in this room with me the other day. Some of you guys were on when he was actually in here. He flew in from Texas. But anyway, so the way the deal works, it's first come, first serve. The number one supplement at chalk.com for men and women is the hot water purified Shilajit, which is a hormone optimizer. It's a fertility booster. It stimulates the production of new brain cells. It's called neurogenesis. For men, it boosts testosterone, and for women, it calibrates your endocrine system. So if you're taking Shilajit, Vladimir Putin, of all people, actually took it or takes it. I'm sure he takes it because the Russian military secretly studied it for 30 years, and they were administering it to their troops to help with combat fatigue and also to boost their morale, and it increases muscle recovery. So if you're out in the battlefield all day taking Shilajit, you're going to repair sooner, etc. So that's the Shilajit. The way the deal works to get the free bag of chocolate powder, $100 value, is you go to chalk.com, you put the male or female vitality stack in your cart, which is under the products tab. So the male stack is a super potent combo of adaptogens for men, and the female stack for women. Put that into your cart, apply the discount code 26life, which I put in the chat just there. That's 26% off for life on your subscription, which you can cancel or modify at any time. And when you place your order, automatically, because you're ordering on the live, you're getting the free bag of lit included. You're not going to see it on your order form, but it's going to be physically placed into your box when it's packed up. So I could tell you, like, we could go into the details that we can of the latest, like, for example, Bill Clinton, like, literally reminiscing on the pictures of him, like, in Epstein Island or something, and he's like grinning and he's laughing, and then his lawyer yanks it out of his hands and she like hushes him up. And we will talk about that because it's just like, fuck, man, it's crazy. But sound mind and sound body detox. Do you know what it feels like when you're taking Shilajit for 30 days on your brain function, or the ashwagandha, which is the one in the male and female stack, which boosts melatonin production, so you get 1,000 times better sleep while you're taking it, and it's a hormone optimizer. And by the way, yes, it boosts melatonin production, but not indiscriminately. It boosts it in conjunction with your circadian rhythm. So when the sun goes down, and your melatonin is supposed to be starting to produce. You don't have blinding blue lights blasting your eyeballs. Your melatonin starts being produced. And that's also imperative because if you're sitting next to or are exposed to Wi-Fi or anywhere near any cell towers, dude, there are whistleblowers coming out working for these cell tower companies saying that, tell me about 2033 TC, saying that the gauge of cable that goes to these transmitters is like so over engineered, it's insane. And that they could crank up the towers and like drop, like people would be dropping, man, not dying, but like frequency weapons. So, but right now they're at a level that we don't quite notice. But I watched a documentary called uh, there was a conference in Denmark in like 2016 where a whistleblower came out or some scientist with stacks of documents saying that um, that this frequency is coming off. The presentation was called "Remote Influencing Technologies, Covert." What was it? Remote influencing technology, new terrorism of the 21st century was the name of this conference, and he's talking about cell towers and remote influencing technologies, ways to influence people remotely with frequencies. So it's we are maybe being manipulated in more ways than one. It's not just because if you're watching TV all day, we know that there's a patent for nervous system manipulation um, from television sets. Like you all saw that, right? That came. I remember posting that literally in like 2016. It's freaking wild. So hold on. Maggie said, "Is it safe to take everything right away or take it slowly?" And there's a bunch of people on the site right now. Yes, all chalk supplements are formulated to work in conjunction with one another. Shilajit specifically is actually a potentiator, so it increases the potential of any herb or superfood that's taken with it. So yes, they're formulated to take in conjunction and to take at the same time. Yes. And there was another question someone asked: the Ultra Stack, the male Ultra Stack is a game changer. Ish, you just ordered. He said, "I got the male stack. Tell me about the Ultra Stack." So the Ultra Stack is basically what I have my dad taking, and it has a couple extra superfoods in it, including the Action 2.0. I got him that one because he did get the Vax, which I pleaded with him not to get, but he got MK Ultra mind controlled into getting the Vax. So, anyways, I wanted to make sure his heart and blood flow were optimal for obvious reasons. And I got him taking the Action 2.0 because it supports healthy blood flow, supports oxygenation of your lungs and blood, and it's really good for your heart. Plus, it supports testosterone production. And when you get older, and even if you're young now, like a 60-year-old in the 1950s had more testosterone than a 20-year-old today, which is so ass backwards, it's not even funny. Like, it is almost alien what they have done to millions and millions of people's hormones with the chemicals, the contaminants, the BPA, the atrazine. Well, there should literally be, among other protests, like there should be some type of organization, like a coalition against atrazine being sprayed in the food supply. It's wild, man. The frog is really the canary in the coal mine. So if a frog can't live in a body of water, fresh water, it's polluted as hell. But if a male frog becomes a female frog in that body of water from a chemical, we especially should not be spraying it. I don't know why I need to be the one putting those two together. This is an agenda, man. Like, you can't look at it any other way. And it's not just because of corporate profits. They just want to profit. Have you seen how the 5G towers are built from a placement aspect? Do you mean like how they put a bunch of them? They need a bunch of 5G towers or 5G transmitters near each other to be able to like really boost it? Or what do you mean? Because if you're talking about the way they hide them with like pine tree camouflage, or there's like cactuses in Nevada that look like a cactus, but if you go up close to it, you realize there's a fence around it, and there's a like a generator or some type of transmission station, and it's actually a cell tower that's just wrapped in a shell that looks like a cactus. So they've adapted hiding these things into different trees based in the area that they're placed. And it is, of course, the average person's like, well, that's just to make it look more like a to the eye, like it's more friendly to the eye. It also serves as the purpose as out of sight, out of mind. So if you don't notice how many cell towers we're surrounded with, I mean, that is a shocking a rabbit hole. In fact, I'm going to make a post on that tomorrow. Cell tower, cactus. It's an old post I used to make. I'll make it again though, because still some people. I mean, I got a comment the other day of someone saying, "What's a GMO?" And I'm happy he asked because we need to be discussing it. But it's interesting because people are waking up to many different agendas at different times, man. For me, I had plateaued um, at chemtrails, GMOs, and fluoride for a number of years, actually, on when I first was waking up. But now it's like, dude, that stuff is. I could tell you the back of my. I'm not saying I know it all, of course, but I'm quite aware of the different things. For example, like if you go and say to someone, um, well, I'm just probably gonna if you go and say to someone about GMOs, they'll say to you, "No, they're going to feed the world, and they're going to save starving children, and they have more nutrients. They're being genetically modified to have more nutrients." That's what they're telling university students right now, by the way, that it's to increase the nutrient density. You think maybe like increasing the soil health would do that with heirloom foods? No, 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 no. There's no profit in that because, and this is what I got a fact check for years ago. Um, there was a scientist who came out and said the reason that these regulators don't research the benefits of like dandelion root is because the US patent law, and I think it's like the global patent law or worldwide patent law, is that you can't patent anything that's natural. And if you can't patent it, you can't, uh, what's it called, monopolize it and profit off of it. So there's no interest at all in researching um, freaking any of these things, any of these natural things, because they can't benefit from them at all. And in fact, they lose out. They actually have a net negative effect if all of a sudden people start taking, dandelion or whatever. It's a shocking agenda, man, and it is based on. But again, that's the surface level. Like on the surface level, of course, yeah, they're not going to profit off it, so they're not going to do it. But it's also that they're not trying to make people healthy. I don't know. Like put it this way: if they were trying to make people healthy, they are doing a pretty piss poor job of that when people are the most unhealthy that they've ever been collectively in human history. So whatever they're doing it wrong, and perhaps they're doing it backwards intentionally, and that's actually a form of black magic, where it's like the inverse is true. You know what I mean? But that's why I boost my DNA with the Shilajit and the chalk minerals, because minerals rebuild your DNA, and your DNA is light codes, and minerals also ignite every biological process in the body. So if you're taking the Shilajit or the chalk minerals or the Irish moss, which is in the female stack, you're getting the full matrix of minerals, which is rebuilding your DNA and boosting your what you call it. Did you know that if you're getting the full matrix of minerals, you actually absorb more nutrients from the foods you're eating to begin with, because every single vitamin requires a mineral to activate it. So many things happen when you're getting the minerals into you. So hold on a second. Someone just got the male vitality stack. Congratulations to who just got the male stack at chalk.com with the code 26life, which means they're the first person to get the free $100 bag of the chocolate powder included in their order. Congratulations to who got the male stack. The second one in the male stack, by the way, is the Tomcat 100, which boosts free testosterone 87% in 21 days, plus sperm count, sperm motility, muscle mass, muscle endurance, and muscle recovery. The Tomcat is wild crafted from the chemical free Malaysian rainforests, where most Tongkat Ali is farmed in China. So we have a legit source of Tongkat Ali. It is freaking amazing, and it has 23 clinical studies. So super pro fertile hormones and anything athletic as well. So the next four people who get the male or female vitality stack in their cart and they apply the discount code 26life, you get a lifetime 26% off discount. You can cancel or modify it at any time, and you're getting the $100 bag of chocolate powder included in your order. Basecamp said, "You're right, Shane. There's a gated community in Arizona called Desert Mountain, and all the cell towers look exactly like saguaro cacti. It's dangerous because your home could be very close to one." Oh, dude, Basecamp. When I was in Edmonton, there's a gas station that like 100 feet from it was a cell tower, just like where a light pole would be. and across the street or across the parking lot was a big apartment building where if you're on like the top floor, your view is the cell tower. Like the guy with the window would probably be like 30 or 40 feet away from the cell tower. I am shocked they're able to even do that because I thought there's a legal limit. I'm sure they changed the legal limit to be to say that's safe at that distance. But you know what's wild is that if you go to the base of a cell tower, it says right on the fence. If you go past the fence, you may be exposed and exceeding the FCC's limits for exposure to radiation. But if you're 2 feet outside of the fence, it doesn't exceed it and you're totally safe. Like it's a scam, dude. They clearly are. There's a bit of a serious nefarious plan, 100%. The other crazy thing though is that Wi-Fi disrupts melatonin production. I think all the frequencies do, but so the wireless frequencies they disrupt your melatonin production because they trick your brain into thinking it's still daytime. And so if you're this is because I guess your pineal gland obviously it runs on some form of frequency wavelength, the natural world, and Wi-Fi is I guess tuned to a frequency that disrupts the production of melatonin. And so you get even less rejuvenative and restorative sleeps, which means all the chemicals and all the shit we've been exposed to in the day uh, gets less able to rejuvenate overnight. So it's a multifaceted thing going on, you know. That's why the ashwagandha is great because you get a way better sleep on it and it helps to negate that. And if you're taking the full matrix of minerals, again, that's going to repair the DNA, which they did a whole video on uh, if you're standing in front of a smart meter for 30, 60, or 90 seconds. And you can find this video, but I see it constantly being deleted off of Instagram. You stand in front of a smart meter for 30, 60, or 90 seconds, and all three of those increments on a live blood cell analysis. If you ever done a live blood cell analysis or you know what it is, um, they take a prick of your blood, they put it on a microscope and on a screen. So you're sitting there and you're able to look at your live blood on a screen. Like it is pretty cool. And you can see the blood cells. And all three exposures to the smart meter at 30, 60, and 90 seconds showed cellular degradation and genetic damage, either in the form of bottle capping, it's called when the blood cells looks like a bottle cap, or clumping. And it gets all clumped together from the radiation. And so, yeah, man, the cell towers, it's a shocking thing that they were able to do. And I posted about it as much as I can, but that's one thing that is a no-no. I've honestly seen more posts that are talking about the dangers and toxins of vaccines than of cell towers. It's kind of like the elephant in the room, honestly. That and chemtrails, which, by the way, they work together seemingly because the one whistleblower who was on that documentary I mentioned, he says that there's evidence that the radiation from the towers pokes holes in your blood-brain barrier. And so what you're inhaling, like it's some type of delivery system. If you're in a major city, they're dumping chemtrails down and there's a million cell towers all over the place. You don't feel it, but it's helping deliver these strange contaminants to your brain. And that's why, again, sound body, sound mind. The importance of making sure you're detoxing and you're boosting your system naturally and you're being in a heightened state of consciousness with superfoods as opposed to like peptides or like synthetics, man. Yeah, that's true. As Isaiah, I don't know why I'm keeping fathoming trying to pronounce your name. It's Isaiah, right? Or Isaiah? Isaiah, that's right. Thank you, man. Okay, hold on a second. Someone just placed a significantly large order, which means we may only even have 3 bags of the lit powder left. Congratulations to who just got an angel number sized order. Let me know what you got. I'm going to hype you up on it. Ultra Stack. Oh, was that Ish? I think Ish. I think that was his name. ISH. He just got the male Ultra Stack with the code 26life. So we got the 26% off lifetime discount. Congratulations to Ish. And that means we have 3 bags left of the lit powder to give away on the live. Dude, you made an excellent choice, man. And by the way, the odd person is like, don't you think that if you're talking about chemtrails and heavy metals and pesticides, and then you're like talking about these superfoods to take, that could be seen as like, you're like fear mongering or whatever. It's like, well, hold on a second. Are we being sprayed with chemtrails? Yes. Are superfoods good for you? Yes. Could this be seen then as providing like somewhat of a solution? I'm not saying taking chalk's going to destroy the cell towers, but something we can do to boost our system a little bit, well, actually a lot, from all the different angles that we're being attacked from. So, congratulations to Ish. I believe that's who got it. Thank you to Lena, by the way. She said, appreciate the work you put in. Thanks, Lena. I do feel drawn to discuss this stuff. I mean, watching sports and talking about celebrities never really sat with me. And I feel like it's a pinnacle moment in history, big time. So, congratulations to Ish. He got a Mail Stack Ultra. And that means 3 bags of lit left. To get the free lit included in your cart, you go to chalk.com. You put the male or female stack in your cart. You apply the discount code 26life. You get that 26% off lifetime discount. And then you get the free lit included in your order automatically. I'm going to shout this out on Instagram Live again. So there's going to be like another bunch of people on here. It's first come, first serve. 3 bags of lit left. So if you're on the fence, quickly get your order in so that you get the free lit powder. Katie said, did you see the video the guy did about using a sauna when chemtrails happen, when they don't, and versus when they don't on the ppm they collected? No, I didn't. So, some of it gets out, eh? That's awesome. I heard that saunas also are good for even detoxing like either microplastics or BPA or something. Maggie said, do you think those radiation stickers to prevent the radiation coming from the phones or laptop work? Maggie, I don't. I would honestly say don't waste your money buying radiation stickers because they don't work and they don't do anything. The best thing you could do is this. Okay, so here's a adapter that I've plugged an Ethernet cable into this, and then I plug this into my phone. Not only does that let me upload videos faster than the Wi-Fi on, but also then the Wi-Fi doesn't need to be on because you could also plug your other machines in your house, your phone or your computers, whatever, into your router. So the Wi-Fi is off all the time. Like my Wi-Fi is off all the time. And it's plugged into, I got an Ethernet cord to my computer here. The whatever else needs one, the laptop in the living room, Ethernet cord. And that's what I do to limit my exposure to radiation from Wi-Fi. From smart meters, I got the smart meter taken off my house and put on a post down the driveway. So it's nowhere near the house. So I still have a smart meter, which means that strange technology in smart meters that gathers data and information about us is still doing that. But at least it's not strapped to, it would literally be behind me, like on that wall right there, if I didn't get it removed. And in some states, you can get a freaking analog meter back in place of as to where the smart meter was. Like they'll put the old analog meter back in. But in other states and in other provinces, that's not an option. Someone in Florida, I think, on this live told me that they have an analog meter and they pay an extra like $10 a month to have it. And that's something that's definitely worth it for sure. The other thing though, the cell towers, the only thing I can think of to reduce your exposure to cell towers is either live far away from them or and get your bare feet on the ground as often as you can because that grounds out the positive ions and it like offsets and it's good for you regardless. We should all be grounding anyway, but one of the benefits of grounding is that it grounds the EMFs out of you as well. So like if you're holding your phone with shoes on, you're absorbing way more radiation than if you're bare feet on the ground holding your phone. It has a different it's the grounding, you know. I should do a video on grounding actually. Let me write that down. These are like the basics that I forget sometimes, but I also know that it's super interesting and cool that grounding has so many benefits. Um, so yes, very good question. And let me think what else. I mean, that's what yeah, so that's my frequency. Oh, you can also get lead paint and paint your house with that. You could also build a Faraday cage. I don't know about that though. It might amplify the frequencies. You can put a pyramid over your bed or build your house pyramid shaped. Pyramid power is super good for you. That would offset it for sure. Um, there's a girl on YouTube called Tech Wellness with I forget her name, but type in like Tech Wellness, it should come up. she's blonde. She's from California, and she has a lot of videos on making your house like EMF safe. Um, exactly, non-toxic. Try bare feet and talking to the trees. Good call, man. 100%. I should say too. Well, I guess I'll shout this out on Instagram real quick, but just so you know, according to naturopaths, right now they have completely changed the guidelines on how much testosterone is considered normal. So if the average guy right now, because there's a bunch of people on the site right now, some people are looking at the male stack. If you are eating 100%, or sorry, if you are going and getting a test for testosterone, blood tests, they'll say you have average levels of testosterone. But if they moved the graph, the freaking values on the graph, so that what's normal today is actually extremely low from like 60 years ago. And so they're making people feel like, no, like you're good, man. But they're not. It's a lot it's a lot lower. Like it would be critically low 60 years ago, but it's considered normal today because so many people have low testosterone. So many guys have low testosterone because of all the chemicals we're exposed to. Which is why if you're taking the male vitality stack, you're getting the Tongkat LE, which boosts free testosterone 87% in 21 days, and you're taking the Chalk Daily, which contains the Shilajit, which boosts total testosterone 21% in 90 days. So I told you guys that when I first started taking Chalk, I was 24. I took it for 90 days. I had, but I don't have anymore because it was on my old Instagram account that got deleted, uh, a video of me talking 3 months before and 3 months after taking Chalk, and it literally made my voice deeper. And it's funny because from like 20 to 24, I was eating pretty much all organic. So I thought, like, I'm good. But little do we know the amount of contaminants we're exposed to on a daily basis. Like, I didn't know about flame retardants back then on all conventional furniture. Uh, there's other things I didn't know at the time as to why my testosterone levels would not have been as optimal. And not to mention, even if you have a pure diet now, totally pure, the decades of being exposed to this stuff does have an impact. You know what I mean? Taylor, yeah. So hold on. I'm about to shout this out on Instagram. I'm going to answer Taylor. Uh, the website is chalk.com. If you're on the site right now, place your order to the male or female stack with the code 26life on the subscription, which you can cancel or modify your subscription at any time. But keep in mind, the clinically studied benefits are based on consistent consumption over 90 days. So you do want to get a consistent dose to experience the full range of benefits. But if you place your order now, we have 3 more bags, $100 value of the chocolate powder to include in your package when it's packed up. You're not going to see it on your order form, but it's going to be put into your box at checkout. And we got 3 left. Taylor said, put a pyramid over your bed. So Taylor, there's a guy named Fred Bell. He's no longer with us. People think he was assassinated. He has a book called Secret Teachings of the Ages. No, it's not that one. Anyway, I have his book, and he talks about pyramid power. He did a lot of research and whatnot into pyramid power. And after or during, so while he was alive, I think, anyway, his daughter, grown up, she got married, got pregnant. She sat under a pyramid. She slept under a pyramid her whole pregnancy. And she had she described it as a painless birth. And it was super easy, painless, and fast. And I mean, that's anecdotal, but the shape of a pyramid has an interesting effect on matter. And there's a pyramid winery in Kelowna called Summerhill Pyramid Winery, and they put kegs of wine in this pyramid, which it raises the brix value of the wine, makes it taste clear, it tastes better, it's like clearer. I didn't try any when I was there, but it's like their signature. And then you come look at this like crazy pyramid on the property where they store all the wine, and there's all these strange effects that pyramids have on shapes or on different things. Like you could put a dull knife under a pyramid, and something to do with the magnetism or whatever, the pyramid realigns the molecules of the steel on the edge of the blade and will sharpen your knife without um, without having to sharpen it. Like it's pyramid power. So there's a bunch of other examples too. Blueprint of energy. That's true, Katie. That's probably what it is. Shout out to Asher. What's flapping? Hold on a second. Do you use long cords for devices? Good question, Deeds. So I have there's something called a splitters or a booster. So you buy this booster, and it's two different pieces of technology. One you plug in near the Wi-Fi router, and then plug an Ethernet cord from your Wi-Fi router to the booster. Then you go plug the other end of the booster into whatever room you want internet. But here's what's important: the boosters boost the Wi-Fi. You want to go into the settings of the boosters, which is the settings of your computer, because it's connected to the booster through the Wi-Fi. I'm gonna have to do a full video on it, but you can turn off the transmission, the transmitter on the booster, so it's not sending out EMFs, and then go into the settings of your router and turn off the Wi-Fi. It still has internet in the box, but then you're plugging into it instead of emitting it. Then the internet travels through the wires in your house. I never knew this was a thing. The internet travels through the wires in your house to the other unit you plugged in the other room, and then you plug an Ethernet cable into that with an adapter to your laptop. So I don't have cords all over my house. I have a few cords here, like the phone cord, and then there's a laptop cord in the living room that's connected through the walls with a booster. And there is tutorials on that on YouTube, but maybe I'll do one as well. Dude, so Jeff Dayton is asking about what the Sam Dam's going on. Dude, I'm about to do a full run through of it because I'm about to shout out on Instagram. But basically, they're trying to usher in the new world order with a World War III. Bombs are dropping. Deception is among us. And I mean, where do we go from here? I mean, dude, the mainstream media is now saying that Russia and China are providing satellite intelligence to Iran. So they're basically about to be involved. We were talking earlier about how we think they're going to play this out. Whether it's America does something next, which makes China cyber attack us, or Russia does something which makes America attack Russia, or Israel to attack Russia, and then Iran cyber attacks us. But a cyber attack is kind of in the works right now. Like it's the word on the street, something's coming around the corner, and they've been talking about cyber attacks for so long. It's pretty much, we know it's a card on the table. Furthermore, this is why it's kind of like, dude, traveling before COVID, when COVID happened, and all of a sudden airline tickets prices were skyrocketing. I remember being in Costa Rica when it was announced that it's officially a global pandemic. So we're like, well, we don't know what's going to happen, so let's just get out of here. Well, we refreshed the page within a minute apart, and the plane ticket like doubled. And then so that was in 2020, which actually, by the way, the owner of Chalk, Seaton, was with me in Costa Rica when that happened. And I didn't have like my credit card on me or something, and we were all trying to like book our tickets quick to get home. So he actually paid for that plane ticket home. So shout out to Seaton, who paid for my plane ticket to fly home, me and Mrs. Shane Fives, to leave Costa Rica. Anyways, imagine if you're like, woo, like let's travel, like let's go somewhere right now. And then all of a sudden, zoom, grid down, you're stranded wherever you are. I mean, that would be a bit of a shocking situation. I don't know if it's the best time to be traveling around right now with the global kind of turmoil, so to speak. Again, I'm not worried about like bombs dropping in certain places. There's certain places I know they're most likely to be dropped as they're being dropped now. But it's more about the cyber thing. Like if the grid goes down, and where are you at? You know what I mean? That's right, Dialed. Dialed would drop some like super tech info about how to make sure your wireless, your SSID and all that. While I was explaining that, actually, it made me want to go to what's this thing called again? D-Link. It made me want to like double check and make sure my boosters are still off, because I turned them off like a few years ago when I first got them. and hopefully they're fully still off right now. But I feel like I have a bit of a vibe for like if the Wi-Fi's on, I can kind of uh, perhaps you can kind of feel the frequencies. Like if you put your phone directly to your head, at least for me, I can kind of feel a unfortunate tingling that's going on. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, that's right. Iran hit one of their bases. That's right. So there's about to be like an escalation, man. France just sent a warship to the Mediterranean Sea to defend neighboring allied nations. So it's becoming global, man. But this isn't going to be a war like. Well, what I heard was this. Um, what I heard the way is that new wars of the 21st century are not fought between countries, but between governments and citizens, and that it's a global cult controlling governments against the citizens of the world to institute a new world order and an AI controlled world. So that's my understanding of what uh, this is all about. And it's not that, of course, the citizens of Iran and Israel surely and certainly don't get along, though I'm sure that they also have more in common than they may think. But the conditionings and the, you know, that's a whole thing. But it's really the tip tops of both governments that are orchestrating this whole thing. Maggie said, I think we're under a nuclear threat. Maggie, good news, and this may be shocking, but nukes don't actually exist. So you don't need to worry about nukes. Bombs, yes, some type of big bombs definitely exist. But I should do another whole video. Maybe I'll do a couple of videos this week. Actually, I'm going to do that. Nukes don't exist video. I'm telling you right now, I know that's probably like, what? If you never heard that before, you're kind of thinking, what do you mean? When you do there's a 4-hour documentary called uh, Nuclear Bombs Don't Exist, Proof, blah, 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 on Rumble, actually, I think, or maybe on BitChute. But you'll quickly, within the first 20 minutes, be like, oh, damn, did they really get us with nukes? And not to mention, we know that they've been saying Iran has had nukes for literally like 30 years. Like they're about to build a nuke. It's like, why are you attacking Iran? Because they have nuclear bombs. It's like, well, why aren't we attacking Russia? Well, are you crazy? They have nuclear bombs. you know. Uh, but yeah, I'll do a video on that, or maybe we'll do a deep dive on it later on the stream. But there's a bit of deception there for sure. Okay, so I'm going to shout this out on Instagram right now. If you're on the fence and you're on the website right now, chalk.com, make sure you put the discount code 26life on the male or female stack. Place your order so that you get the free $100 bag of the chalk lit powder so that you have sound mind and body during this pinnacle moment in human history. Free lit included in your order, and super detoxing, delicious, and you will absolutely love it. And we have 3 left. Maggie said, I'm so happy to hear that, but I'll look into it. Yeah, so it's called Nukes. Nukes are actually, you know what I'll do? Hold on a second. First, I'll go to Rumble because Rumble has videos like that that are deleted everywhere else. Nukes don't exist. Sec. No. Sometimes Rumble's search thing sucks though. Nukes do not. Save that. And a Japanese guy, by the way, wrote a book from Japan about nukes, how there's no fallout, and it was a firebombed. They actually firebombed Japan. They did not nuke them. They looked identical to firebombing of other countries like Germany that got firebombed. And hold on, I'm just scrolling to find you the actual documentary. Nukes don't exist. I'll type in BitChute. Here we go. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so I'm going to put this link in the chat. Honestly, guys, watch it so that you're not scared of nukes anymore. Here. Copy and paste that somewhere to watch later. That's exactly what I have. Or I said D-Link. Oh yeah, it's TP-Link. It's not D-Link. So dude, Dial, do you do the same thing as me, man? Set up to Dialed, man. So maybe I don't have. Okay, so I have a power line adapter. I don't think it's maybe it's not a booster. Maybe I misspoke. Yeah, I have a power line adapter, and what does it say? Can this thing go? I'll have to deal with it after, but if we have the same thing, does that mean mine isn't even supposed to be a booster? Let me know, dude. Thrax said Japan not having any residual radiation always made me suspect growing up. Yeah, it is. It is. It is strange, man. And some people, there's like entire structures that were directly below the bomb. But you know what they say? They say that Hiroshima and Nagasaki was it wasn't nuclear, it was hydrogen, or there's some fact check on that where they say it's not the nuke that has radiation from it. And we've seen Terminator when the nukes go off and the guy melts on the freaking chain link fence. And the whole story of Terminator is freaking wild, man. But hold on, let me shout out this live, and then we'll do basically the. Okay, hold on. Yes, you will be fine if you do that, Tim. I mean, non or Copper Rock rather. Oh, but by the way, Maggie, where were you planning on going? Let me know. Okay, so let me just title this live on Instagram real quick. Yeah, have you been to Summerhill? It is pretty wild. You can see it from Google Earth too. No, Japan was fine after they rebuilt that whole city and there's no radiation. So, and people survived. Some people survived both. Like someone was in one city, it got bombed, they went to another, and people say it was firebombed, it wasn't nuked. What's going on, everyone? So, I don't know if you heard, but OAN, mainstream news network there, just came out and said that Russia and China are providing satellite intelligence to Iran. And so they're not directly, physically involved in the conflict, but they are allegedly providing surveillance and intelligence, which is priming us and getting us looking at this from an angle of, oh, this is turning World War style. This is turning uh, into many different countries joining the fight. And Kronos said this war feels a little too scripted, man. That's because it fully is and has been many, many, many years. And it's been a proxy war all the time. That's right. It's been many years in the making. It's biblical. We are witnessing literally biblical prophecy. And Dina says, what's your prediction? How long will this go for? Well, all I know is this. Fridays typically are when major things are announced and when major things happen because the banks are closed over the weekends and people cannot go pull their money out and do stuff like that. And so if there's something that's going to happen, right now Tel Aviv is being bombed to shit. And so is Iran. And this is not me picking sides. By the way, someone's going to say, well, they deserve it. This side deserves it. That side. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they're getting bombed. And now U.S. bases are getting bombed. And they just sunk a ship with a torpedo, which is the first time since World War II. The script is that they need a war to end all wars. Or that they'll tell us. A whistleblower came out. Bill Cooper, Behold a Pale Horse, said that we need a war to end all wars. Or that they are planning on a war that's going to end all wars because people will beg for no more war because the plan is here, Brandon Kyle, I'll help you to not believe the shit coming out of my mouth. I just blocked you there, dude. You're good. They want to cause such a conflict and such a shocking situation that everyone in the world is begging for no more war, and then they can increase or rather implement the world that has no wars, which is the New World Order. So this is totally a plan. It's not organic by any means, and this has been prophesized. Now, we're discussing this in full detail on my Rumble live stream channel, which is free to download, free to watch, and free speech, because you cannot fully discuss this on here. I'll answer that question too. Dina, who asks, should we pull our money out of the banks? I'm not going to suggest you do that or the other, because we don't know if it's this Friday, next Friday, but we know it's usually going to be on a Friday. But we'll discuss more about it. So listen, the reason we're live on Rumble, it's free to download, free to watch, and free speech. If you click the link in my bio, it takes you to Rumble. You can watch it for free on your browser. But over there, there's no strikes. I've gotten in trouble on here for literally talking about fluoride. So I'm glad that Rumble exists, because we can discuss things there without having to bite our tongue. There's a lot more I'd like to say about this whole thing that I can't hear. So if you want to tune in, click the link in my bio, or alternatively, that's right, BV, 2019 Economist. I got to write that down so I remember to make a post on that tomorrow. Economist, because that was something quite shocking as well. You're clearly paying attention. So alternatively, you can go comment the word Rumble on any one of my posts on Instagram, not this live, but any one of my posts. And when you comment Rumble, you get the link to your DMs of my Rumble channel, or just go click the link in my bio and come on over to Rumble. We already got 100 people on, and we're also doing like a bit of a Q&A thing too. It's a discussion. So hope to see you guys on Rumble. Fear not, the good does win in the end. I'm not sitting here worried about World War III. I mean, it's like a bit shocking watching it happen and become a thing, but I know that in the end, the good guys win. We will win. Humanity will prevail, and get right with God too, because not because something's about to detonate, but because you should anyway. All right. I'll see you guys on Rumble. Much love, everyone. Yeah, I guess when you say get right with God, it sounds like say your last words, but that's not what I'm really trying to say at all. So yeah, the 2019 Economist. Hold on. Exactly, Eva. Exactly. So shout out to Dialed, who literally sounds like he's dialed in his tech knowledge and whatnot. Two Amish nukes. Shout out to Copper Rock. Yeah. By the way, so nuclear bombs do not exist. They are completely fake. So when China came out and said, the Chinese like diplomat or something in English said that we'll allow other countries to take the first shot, but if any country, and he literally said, if America tries to rule or take over or control or whatever China, that by nuclear warfare or something, that China will not be ruled and they will retaliate and destroy whoever is trying to destroy them. Pretty inflammatory words, you know what I mean? And so it's priming everyone to think nukes are on the horizon. Now, a lot of the reason why people believe that nukes are completely fake is because, for one, if you go rewatch some of the old videos that we all watched growing up, seeing nukes detonate those little like mock towns that are just a dummy shanty town that it's not a real town, but they set them up to do these tests. It's literally Hollywood. And a million movies have programmed us into believing nukes. Hollywood put these productions together of little towns like cars and whatnot getting blown apart. And also, what's interesting is when they would go and do nuclear testing in the ocean, they'd have like two islands they're detonating these nukes on. Both islands, as the Marines or whoever was stacking up this TNT to set it up, and then they came back to some observation post like in the ocean, and they're on either ships, and both guys looking at either islands are told, the island we stalked is the TNT island, the other island is the nuclear bomb island, and so we're doing a test to see the difference. They told both sailors on either boats that the island they stacked up was just the TNT one, the other one is the nuke one. And also, don't look at it when it explodes because it's really bright. And then when they look back after it detonates, it's a big mushroom cloud. Well, you can make a mushroom cloud with enough tannerite or with enough, I'm sure enough C4 would probably do it too. So that's the tip of the iceberg. It is a 4-hour documentary called Nukes Don't Exist on BitChute. And I've also seen Cultivate Elevate, who is no dum dum. He is very wise as well, and he's done a bunch of videos on nukes being fake. So don't be worried about nukes, but the cyber attack element and whatnot is the angle that's coming around the corner. Hold on a sec. So yeah, it is absolutely wild, but they're going to use it to fearmonger for sure, because that's what it's all about, fear mongering. Isaiah said, so is the Samson option the biggest bluff in geopolitics? Yes, but also who knows if they have a bunch of things that they would prefer to detonate. Like maybe there's some bunch of bombs they would set off. Would it be nukes? We'd be told it's nukes. Would it be firebombing? Would it be incendiary, something that they would say is nuclear bombs? They would show a devastated city and say, oh, look, a nuke dropped, but really it was just missiled to shit. Like, who knows? But the smoking gun, so to speak, is what happened in Japan and Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And the fact that there was all kinds of buildings still standing, it looked identical to being firebombed, and there was no radiation fallout. So um, it's an interesting rabbit hole for sure. Now, the other thing that's wild though is that with all this deception that's coming around the corner, like I said, I believe that it's like a multi-decade, maybe even in terms of what has happened with the food supply in the last 100 years, it's been leading us up to this moment where people are, the average person, hopefully not you guys, but the average person is has a calcified pineal gland. They're full of fluoride. They got the GMOs, the pesticides, the heavy metals that is clouding their vision, not just actually, dulling their senses, but their intuition, their psychic center. Because your pineal gland is the center of your, they call it the psychic center. It's your ability to have intuition, and the fact that they have been cranking us with fluoride tablets. Like I got fluoride tablets. Some of you guys just got fluoride growing up, or fluoride mouthwash at the dentist, etc. All this stuff, it is definitely designed to keep us in a lowered state, and I think to also be able to more easily deceive us because we are not in our true highest form when we're chugging on BPA and microplastics and pesticides and heavy metals and being sprayed with them too from the chemtrails, of course. So, yeah, exactly. Tim said you don't need a nuke. Look at Gaza. That's right. That's right. So, with that being said, this is the most imperative time in human history to not only, to first and foremost, fear not, or I guess first and foremost would be get right with God. Secondly, to fear not. And then thirdly, vastly imperative, not more than the prior though, is to make sure that you're of sound mind and sound body so that you're not, if you're not actively detoxing today, you are actively accumulating. That's what is basically, uh, you can imagine if you're not actively getting the heavy metals out of you that they're spraying on us every single day with chemtrails, you are accumulating them. And same thing with the contaminants in the food and water supply in terms of atrazine and glyphosate and the other stuff, the forever chemicals, which is all over the place. So be of sound mind, be of sound body, detox, rejuvenate your system and your brain function. On this live specifically, before we get to the next nuke stuff and the World War III inside job that's going on right now. Shout out to Randall, by the way, or Randall, who just made a new Rumble account. Shout out to Randall. Welcome. Everyone, make sure you turn on your live notifications so you know when we're live next, and you don't need to rely on Instagram lives to know I'm live here. We are doing the last call on this live to give away free bags of the chocolate powder. This is from Chalk Superfoods. It's organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia. It massively stimulates stem cell production. It's super detoxing. It's delicious. And it also is considered one of the highest antioxidant superfoods in the natural world. And this stuff is freaking amazing. You can eat it by the spoon dry. We have 3 bags left to give away. It is first come, first serve. And we're actually about to close down the deal as well. It's kind of the last call on the live. So the way the deal works is this: you go to chalk.com, which Chalk ships out of Georgia. They're based in Texas. They have an all-American customer service team, and they have over 5,000 third-party verified 5-star reviews on Trustpilot. And so to get the free lit, the number one supplement at chalk.com is the hot water purified Shilajit. which is a hormone optimizer. It's a fertility booster. It massively stimulates the production of new brain cells called neurogenesis. It's also pro hormone, so it optimizes your endocrine system. When guys take it, it boosts testosterone, and for women, it calibrates your endocrine system. That's the purified Shilajit. To get the free lit powder included in your order, you go to chalk.com, and under products, you'll see there's the male stack, the female stack, those two stacks, those vitality stacks, which is a combo of superfoods in one. You put them in your cart and you apply the discount code 26life. You get a 26% off lifetime discount, which you can cancel or modify at any time. But keep in mind, the clinically studied benefits are based on consistent consumption over 90 days. So you do want to get a consistent dose to experience the full range of benefits. But if you go to chalk.com, you put the male or female stack in your cart, you apply the discount code 26life, and then once you place your order, if you place it on the live, you get a free $100 bag of lit included in your order automatically. And so you won't see that on your order form, but it's going to be physically placed into your box so that when it shows up to your house, boom, bang, bing, you open it and you get a special $100 value treat, which you get to snack on right away. And I will say too, the crazy thing is most cacao is farmed, and it has, well, it's been shown to have all kinds of strange contaminants in it and also be hybridized. They probably use fertilizers and pesticides too, but that's why Chalk opted for the heirloom and organic cacao, because I mean, some people have had organic cacao before, but to have it be the original, the heirloom cacao as well, is a extremely rare, like, anomaly. It's very, very rare to get heirloom original cacao. So shout out to Non-Toxic, who loves his lit. It is freaking amazing. I do love it. Shout out to Hibitspa Woman as well. Great, great wise words. Everyone read her comment as well. It's absolutely imperative. Now, the other thing that's going on too is that in the female stack is the Shilajit's in the female stack. The ashwagandha is in the female stack as well, which is a hormone optimizer. It massively boosts melatonin production, so you get 1,000 times better sleep while you're taking it. It also is 14 times as potent as conventional ashwagandha, and we have a whole write-up on the bottle as to how that is with our clinical studies and our lab tests. It's way more potent than the stuff you get elsewhere. So the melatonin production that it boosts increases, basically you get a way better sleep when you're taking it. So you can even sleep, I find I can sleep for less hours and feel as rejuvenated when taking the ashwagandha. And it gets you into a deeper sleep so that more, you basically, it's more rejuvenating and restoring. It supports rejuvenative and restorative sleeps, and also your endocrine system. So it's pro-fertile, pro-hormone, and it's considered the king of herbs in India. It's super freaking awesome. So that's in the female stack and the male stack. And then the third one in the female stack is the Irish moss, which is wild crafted from Nova Scotia. It's got the full matrix of minerals. It's super detoxing, and we know that minerals build our DNA as well. So even if we're eating 100% organically today, we're getting less than 10% of the full matrix of minerals. So I highly recommend. And in both the male and female stack, you're getting a ton of bioavailable minerals, which rebuild your entire genetic blueprint, basically. Nanette, I definitely can. I mean, so that was kind of a run through with the female stack. There's also a ton of clinical studies that are even more scientific than we usually go into on the lives, but there's a lot of benefits on the male and female stack that would take, like, I'm talking, we'll put it this way, we can speed run through some of them. I mean, the Shilajit, which is in the male and female stack, it's a hormone optimizer. It also is a potentiator, so it increases the potential of any other herb or superfood that's taken with it. So that's why it's in the male and female stack. We're talking hormones, healthy hair, skin, and nails, endocrine function, stress response. The Shilajit for men and women increases muscle mass, or not muscle mass, that's the Tomcat. The Shilajit increases muscular recovery, so cellular rejuvenation. And the craziest, one of the best benefits I think of the Shilajit is that it stimulates the production of new brain cells. So it's called neurogenesis. Neuro is neuron, genesis is generate. Neurogenesis. And that gives you way sharper memory, cognition, focus, and energy. It's freaking awesome. Aholet said, what would be the best move we can do now individually with the current situation? I would say, first, fear not. Second, get right with God. And dude, I know, like I've followed a couple people. One of them is like quite financially successful, also uh is aware of the truth of the Bible and Jesus. And he's like, dude, I don't know where's a safe place to do anything. Like where is a safe haven? A bunker? Like who wants to live in a fucking bunker? You know, it's wondersome. You know, it is people are wondering exactly what should you have extra cash, a bit of extra food, a bit of extra supplies, a bit of extra gas. Nothing wrong with that. In general, you're going to go through it eventually anyway. Ninette, the other crazy thing is that the Irish moss that's in the female stack, because there's a bunch of people on the site right now, the Irish moss that's in the female stack, certified wild crafted from Nova Scotia, as opposed to being farmed in the Caribbean. And the vast majority of Irish moss on the internet is farmed in the Caribbean, so it's full of microplastics because none of those islands treat their gray water. So Chalk specifically opted for the wild crafted moss because it has way more benefits and is not full of the strangeness. Shout out to Dialed giving a real time uh, review. Shout out to Dialed, man. And then the other funny thing I have to say though is like, dude, like the supplement industry really is the Wild West when it comes to if you just go and Google like, oh, I'm gonna just get some ashwagandha here. I hear it has benefits, even organic. I remember my aunt. She's like, "What do you think about ashwagandha?" I'm like, "Well, it is a superfood. I could tell you all about it." She's like, "Well, I've been taking it, but I don't really feel a difference." I'm like, "Where'd you get it?" She says, "Amazon." I'm like, "Amazon?" She's like, "Yeah, but it's organic." It's a lot of freaking scheme. You got to watch out, man. So that's specifically why they went with the certified organic, clinically tested, heavy metal tested ashwagandha, and that's what you're getting with the chalk ashwagandha. I think it has 43 or 46 clinical studies on it, so it's pretty what you call it, clinically validated. OMB. So what's interesting is if you're saying 18, like read between the lines here, OMB, completely safe. 18-year-olds, adults, yes, 100%. Under the age of 18, chalk is not intended for, or is intended for healthy adults, I should say, and very good for healthy adults. Put it that way. Not intended to treat, cure, or diagnose any disease. That being said, Irish moss, for example, you can literally buy it, um, like at certain grocery stores. I don't recommend you do because it's all farmed, but that's a food. You can eat it. There's no warning, nothing. But as soon as you put it in a capsule, you do have to say, um, like this is not intended for nursing or pregnant women. This is not intended for anyone under the age 18, like all that, right? So you got to, yeah, exactly. So I hope that, if you know what I'm saying. And then, of course, you're getting the free lit, which we drink the lit, the whole fam jam over here. My whole family, we drink it every single day, either in the morning or night, sometimes both. Today was a both kind of day. Oh, and then Mrs. Where did she go here? Ninette said, "Does these also help clean the body of parasites, considering they mask in heavy metals?" Ninette, I don't know that we have clinical studies on that, but um, the Shilajit is known to massively boost the your microbiome. So does the chocolate powder; it increases your gut microbiome. Both of those also support heavy metal detoxification, and also by increasing the microbiome, your the parasites don't like to live there. With that being said, too, some people think that parasites are actually like an imperative part of life, I guess, as a human. Like they do have, certain parasites, like they'll eat even fast food, processed foods, things like that, and may, actually help and be symbiotic. So I'm not too worried about parasites, but I know that a healthy microbiome is good for many different things, and some say it makes it unfavorable to like bad parasites that are parasitic rather than symbiotic. You know what I mean? But yes, exactly. That's a good question. Someone just got the female vitality stack, by the way. I think that may have been either Nanette or Mrs. Where did she go here? OMB. Congratulations to whoever just got the female stack with the code 26life, 26% off for life on their subscription, which is freaking awesome. That means we have 2 left. I guess we're pretty much at the last call part of the live when it comes to 2 bags left to give away. Again, male stack, female stack in your cart. Put the code 26life on there, and you're going to get the free lit added to your order automatically. And remember, you're not going to see it included in your. You're not going to see it on your order form, but it's going to be placed in the box when it's packed up in your package. All right. That's right, Habitsba. That's 100% right. Dialed, dude. Dialed really is dialed. That's hilarious. That's like it's a real projection. You say you're dialed, and then you come on breaking down the technicals of like making sure you're not or setting up your Wi-Fi and your frequencies right. That's freaking awesome, man. Shout out to Apex. Apex, great username, man. Great username, Apex. Welcome everyone who's new here, by the way. All of you dear souls. Funny how we can meet virtually like this, isn't it? Marshall, I've heard people say that. I've not done too much of a deep dive into that. I guess I should, but because I can't really post about cancer, like it's not really something you want to like Instagram, Facebook, even Twitter, you start talking about cancer and what it really is and what really, and that's why really there's people who make their own websites, their own platforms to be able to talk freely like that. And that I commend and respect out the yin yang. Um, but because I haven't gotten around to do that, I'm still on these main platforms. I guess I haven't felt too drawn to being like, what is cancer? Is it a parasite? Is it a this? I'm more just thinking about you know, leaving that up to people like Cultivate Elevate, I guess. I think he's talked about that before. Shout out to Bruce William, who said, I can attest to the quality of chalk. Shilajit in the daily changed my life. Highest quality product you could get. I really enjoy the ashwagandha too. Shout out to Bruce William. Thank you, Bruce. By the way, I saw your comment above what you said. That was very nice, man. I appreciate that. And it is what I feel drawn, man, to be discussing and talking about and sharing. Like, it has been literally over 10 years. For the first 4 or 5 was just memes. I would make memes. And then I did the old face reveal. Not really. I just posted a story. And then eventually, once Instagram segued over to Reels, it became, I started doing videos. And now here we are, man. Sorry about that. Yeah, copper, it probably does check out. I know that a tumor is apparently a bag that your body puts together to store all the toxins, and then they poke a hole in that bag with a biopsy, and then it spreads everywhere, and they say, "Oh shit, it actually got worse." To answer Habitsba, she said, "Can you take too much chocolate in a day?" No, I don't think so. I mean, it's cacao. Is there like a maximum recommended dose for cacao? Maybe, um, but I've not hit it, and I've had a lot of chocolate in a day before. There's also lucuma and camu camu. You have it in Habitsba, so you've seen the label. Lots and lots of superfoods in there. Um, Isaiah, I'm not surprised about that, man. I'm not surprised at all. So listen, what we're gonna do is we're gonna extend this deal for the next 30 minutes. So if you go to chalk.com and you put the male or female stack in your cart and you apply the discount code 26life, you get a lifetime 26% off discount, cancel or modify at any time, and you're gonna get the free $100 bag of chocolate powder included in your order automatically. So we're going to extend that till midnight. Thank you guys all for joining. Every day stuff is popping, the news, but keep your head on a swivel. Fear not. The good will prevail 100%. Get right with God. And fear not, fear not, fear not, man. 365 times. All right. So thank you all for joining. We'll see you on the next one. Much love, everyone.